I about to wake up in the morning but I want to sleep some more. So, I kept my eyes closed and turned my body away from the light. Just then, my head hit something. Ugh. AAA. Itetit. I quickly saw what I hit. Haruhime-san. Why are you in my bed? I said while both of us holding the part of our head that hit each other. Aisha-san kicked me out from the bed. She said holding her head with both hands. Ha, alright. Just get more sleep here. I said to her and getting out of my bed. I'm sorry. She said while lowering her head, even her ears are going down. It's okay, I suppose to wake up anyway. I said while patting her head since I can't leave her feeling sad like this. You also awake didn't you, Aisha-san? I said toward the other bed. Ufufu. As sharp as ever. Aisha said turning her body around and start posing herself in a sexy manner. Is there anything you would like us to do, Captain? She said with her flirty tone. Captain. I'm just a member. My brother is the captain. It's bothersome. I said brushing her words off. Era, is that why he's diligent at going to the dungeon even early this morning? Aisha said noticing Belle already leaving when she awake. Hestia also already leave to do her first part-time job. No, he's just like that. I said walking to sit on the sofa. Then, is there anything we should do to earn money? I will help accommodate her. Aisha said while also patting Haruhime before going toward me. You can do what you want to as long as it's not illegal. Anyway, before you go or Haruhime-san sleep again. Eat some breakfast. I said while pulling out a portion from Gate of Babylon. All the conditions of the food are being kept fresh with it even for a long time. Anyway, Aegeus-san. You knew that we would have a conflict with Ishtar Familia if they found us. Aisha said while eating but keeping a serious face. I looked at her with a relaxing expression, then. What can she do? Converting members of Familia could be done when two gods agree. If she said something that she didn't do it, the proof is on your back. Haruhime-san also got her slave collar removed, which could only be done by the owner. I said, stating my point. Then, what happened if they start taking things in an illegal way? Aisha said, knowing her Familia well. Then, won't I get to destroy her place? I said without looking at her. Aisha about to deny my claim since there are only a few members in my Familia, but remembering yesterday. She only smiled and continued eating. Haruhime, come and eat. She said, ordering Haruhime that peeking from my bed. Her ears perked up with her tail moving left and right before she showing her face and start walking slowly. You should help Haruhime-san getting stronger. I said, throwing all the responsibility toward Aisha. She also nodded in agreement. Take this and prepare yourself. I might leave to the dungeon in a few days. I said, leaving a bag of valise for Aisha, which she surprised but not asked much about it. After all the thing had been explained, I went out of the church and walking toward a particular building, Twilight Manor, but before that, I changed my clothes to Sovereign of the Wise King set, which Caster Gilgamesh is using since my old clothes seem about to tear apart at any moment. Without the hat, I now looked like Caster Gilgamesh, but with my white hair that overall it looked fine, and for some reason, no sense of shame or anything with my bare upper body opened. Even some people dress in only his underwear that made out of fur. Done with my change of clothes, I walked toward the Twilight Manor since before I got my level rising to the top, I want to fight with my weapon to mold the fighting style to my body. Hold it. What business do you have here? The guard blocked me and I just realized them because I'm still looking around the premise, which too big to be missed. Ah, yeah. I got this from Loki-sama. Mind showing me the way? I said, showing the clown card to the guard. Both the guards nodded and one of them decided to escort me there. Ah. Kevin-san. Have you seen, Captain? I have been looking for him. Someone said, which blocked by the guard, not that I care since I looking out of the window. Just how big is this place? I thought while looking around. Ayahawk. Aegeus-kun. What are you doing here? She said, gaining my attention. Oh, Tiona. I have been invited by Loki-sama. I said while showing her the card. She quickly came closer and inspect the card. It's real. Kevin, I will take it from here. Tiona said to the guard, which he nodded, and leave both of us there. This way, Aegeus-kun. Tiona said while walking in front of me. We walked in the long hallway with windows on the right side to let the sunlight get in. Anyway, Aegeus-kun. Your clothes looked good on you. Tiona said, complimenting me while glancing behind her. Thanks, but I believe you had something you want to say to me. I said, noticing her, which never compliments someone other than Finn. Ha, it's true. It's about my sister. You just vanished without saying anything, which made her stay in her room after we got back. Tiona said, complaining. I can't even let her get out from the room. Another of her complained, and along the way to Loki's room. Tiona then knocked on the door. Who is it? We could hear some reply from the opposite side of the door. It's me, Tiona. I bring you a guest, Loki-sama. Tiona said, waiting for a reply from Loki. Get inside. She said, which then both of us enter. Oh, rare guest indeed. Loki said, smiling. Inside the room are Loki, Riveria, Ace, and Aina. Aina-san. I said when the first time I saw her. Aina holding a cup of tea while shaking badly. Aegeus-kun. What is with your clothes? She quickly shouted. Ha! Is that the first question you ask? I said while looking at her. Not long after she regained herself. I sat next to her while looking at Loki. Then, before both of you talk, let me ask Loki-sama first. I said, breaking the silence in the room. Sure. Loki said while drinking a sake which she just bought. I want to ask for your permission to fight your member. Not a real fight, of course. It's just sparring. I said, gaining their attention. Okay, but I want my other member to watch it. Loki said with a smile. Riveria seemed surprised for a second but quickly closed her mouth. Alright, I will take my leave. I said, and about to go out. Wait. Aegeus-kun. You better stay. This has something to do with your brother. Aina said, stopping me from walking out. Have you talked to him? I asked her without turning my body. No, not yet. Aina quickly said. Then you should. I won't meddle in his decision. I said, leaving her there. Tiona-san, are you coming? I'm looking for Finn though. I said in the hallway, which Tiona quickly ran outside, coming. Do you know where we are going, Aegeus-kun? Tiona asked me after both of us walked outside of the room. Of course not. This is the first time I come here. I said without any remark to where we're walking. Before that, where's your room again? I asked her, which she quickly became angry. I just reserve my body for Captain. She said while her face became somewhat mad. Who said that? I asked about Tiona. She's there, isn't she? I said, which her berserk seems to die down. Oh, this way then. She said, showing the way. Isn't that too fast? I thought while looking at her. We walked to the girl dorm and got attention from many girls around, but with Tiona here, no one dared to approach. We stopped at some random door and Tiona looked at me. Tiona-san, it's me. I said at the door, but no response whatsoever. I won't fall from your trick anymore. Stop imitating his voice. Sob sob. Tiona said while crying. I looked at Tiona in confusion, but she only smiled wryly toward me. Open up, or I won't make any food for you ever again. I said toward the door, which I could hear something fall to the floor followed by footsteps toward the door. Prove it. I could hear someone said right at the door. I sighed and pulled out one of the food. The door quickly opened and she looked at me intensively. Are you really Aegeus-kun? She asked while inspecting every corner of my body. I flicked her forehead, which made her head flicked back, and she covered her forehead. It hurts, she said. What made you shut yourself in your room like that? I glare at her. I thought you hated me. She said, pouting while avoiding eye contact. Ha, now eat first. You haven't eaten anything, right? I said while wiping the tears on her face. You really are, Aegeus-kun, right? It's not an illusion, right? Tiona said while enjoying the attention I gave to her. Anyway, where's your cheerful self go to? I said, smiling at her. She nodded and smiled before taking the plate on my other hand. Ace had reached level 6. Loki shouted loud enough to be heard around the mansion. Quickly every girl running toward Loki's room, leaving only Tiona, and me there. Right, now. Tiona-san, let's go to Finn's workroom. I said, which Tiona quickly nodded and showing the way. Wait for me, Tiona said while eating her food along the way. Without long, Tiona already knocked to his room. Captain, she shouted, but no answer could be heard. Ha, he's not here, Tiona said, feeling sad while walking away from the door. Ah, Tiona. Wait for me, Tiona said, but glancing back and forth to me and Tiona. She confused why I still standing there. Finn, I'm coming in, I said and opened the door. Inside the room could be seen that Finn sitting at his table while writing something. Ah. Aegeus. What can I help you with? He said while still writing. I walked inside and take a sit with Tiona following behind me. Looked like Tiona already took another run toward other directions searching for Finn. I want to spar since the next expedition. I would be attending, I said while Tiona surprised behind me. Finn already stopped writing and sit opposite me. Yeah, I already heard the news from Loki-sama. You got my thanks for it. I can now make a formation for the low-level members to get fighting experience for it, Finn said, showing his gratitude. Then, mind if I ask some of your time? I said, grinning at him. Finn back smiled at me, understanding my words. Finn and I already stand in the training ground with no one using it. Loki already announced that all her familia should attend there to watch the fight from the side. Are you not going to use your swords? Finn said, hugging his spear. I shook my head. I kinda want to use another weapon, I said to him. Looking around, other members from Loki Familia already gather around and whisper one another. Usually I won't fight while being watched like this, but I owe you one for accepting this sparring session, I said while lifting my right hand up to the air. Gate of Babylon opened, automatically spouting green lighting from it. Meteor spear, like usual, made its entrance to my hand. I took my stance to get ready while Finn still stood there. Aren't you too confident here? I said to him while disappeared from his sight and appeared behind him. I used Meteor Spear to stab him, but he quickly flinched, realizing I'm behind him, and quickly bent his body to the left, avoiding my stab. He quickly took a distance from me after avoiding my strike, but I got a few of his hair. Still confidence? I said to provoke him. Finn stopped his smile and looked at me seriously. We stare for a moment before both of us disappear from everyone's sight and clash in the middle, greeting each other. The fight was a blur for some people, but for us both, it's a combination of offense and defense. We trade blow in turn since it's not fighting to the death. I lower my speed a little, matching Finn without him realizing. Soon each of us find an opening in each other and used it to attack, but our attack met each other, which resulting in a stalemate between us. We push each other and took some distance, resetting the situation. Thank you for the guidance, Finn. I won't forget this one. You really are strong, I said, throwing Meteor Spear up to the Gate of Babylon, but then another spear came out beside me. A red spear came out slowly, humming like a heart pumping. But looked like, I need another guidance for this one, I said, taking out Gibalg and took a different stance. His aura changed, Finn thought when looking at Aegeus. Soon the spar continued, but Aegeus' movement became wilder. It's as if he's fighting with instinct. He would take a gamble dodging to strike rather than parry or blocking. His fighting style also changed too much, Finn thought, gritting his teeth while dodging each and every strike. The people at the side became speechless at the sight. Nay, Tiona. This is a spar, right? Tiona asked her sister while both of them glued their eyes to the fight. I should ask you in this one. He is level 3, right? Tiona said to Tiona. This time the fight took a longer time and leave scratch here and there for both of them. Looked like we should ended it here, I said after took a distance from Finn. I could feel the knowledge had been tempered down to my body. Yeah, it would be a great help for us when you help in the next upcoming expedition, Finn said after controlling his breath. Ni-san, you're back, Belle said, greeting me, and stood up from the sofa. All of the people in the room froze seeing me. Quickly, I noticed the room became quiet, so I looked around. What? I asked all of them. Ufufu. You look dashing right now, Aisha first commented on my appearance. Ni-san. Your clothes, Belle said while inspecting what I wear. What? I can't change my clothes, I asked while looking at the set of clothes that I'm wearing. I think it suited you, Aegeus-sama, Haruheim said with a blush and looked away from me. Thanks, Haruheim-san. Now, I want to sleep. Today really tiring for me. I said and straight went to bed. Wait. Aegeus-kun. We need dinner. Hestia quickly pulled my clothes after I lay down on the bed. I forgot about that. I said while pulling out some of the food and let Hestia brought it to the table. Without me realizing, Haraheim already fell unconscious on the sofa. Bell woke up early as usual with Hestia clinging hard on him, but then when he sat on the bed, he detected another presence in the room. Bell wiped his eyes to make sure that this wasn't a dream. There he saw a green maid with yellow blonde hair and pointy ear sitting beside him, but he could only see her back. Ria-san? He asked slowly, but the elf turned her back only glance at him for a moment before telling him to keep quiet. Bell confused at first, then he noticed that Ryo is watching his brother sleeping with for some reason Haraheim kept sleeping at Aegeus's bed hiding her face behind him, while the person unconsciously hugging her tail. Bell then felt the ominous aura flaring around them. So, he quickly but silently walked away, brushed his teeth and take his equipment before ran away to the dungeon. Oh, I just found my paradise, I said while feeling all fluffy. I knew it just a dream, but I never know that there's a thing that's so soft like this. This is why I like to sleep, a dream is a unique place to visit. Wag-a-ag. I suddenly fly to the wall. I panicked and look around. Aisha also woke up but blocking my vision while she looked behind her. People in the room looked at certain people which then I could see when standing up at my place. Ria-san. What are you doing here? I asked while patting the dust off from my body. You knew her. But she just blasted you off to the wall, Aisha said while being alarmed by Ryo's presence. She already took a stance to fight her hand-to-hand combat. Haraheim and Hestia lacking a sense of danger still looking at Ryo with half-asleep state. Ryo still kept her neutral expression, but for some reason, I could feel that she glaring at me. Her eyes glowing when her face darkens a lot. You said I can come anytime, she said without any remorse of guilty after throwing me to the wall. I get it, but do you have to come early in the morning and wake me up like that? I prefer the first time you wake me up, I said feeling sore around my body. Before she answered, I walked to a bigger space in the room to stretch myself. Your purpose of visit? Is it about you or hostess of fertility? I asked her while keep stretching. She stopped for a moment while her glare relaxed a lot by the time she answers and looked at me in silence. It's about Mamma Mia. She asked for help, Ryo said before walking toward me and took my hand then put it on her head. I about to pat her before she slapped it and walked away from the room. Please come as soon as possible, she said before leaving. What's wrong with her? Nyanyanyi and I. Hestia grumbled after waking up. I think she's cute though. Ufufu. Aisha commented after calming down. Why you support her, Aisha-san? Hestia shouted loudly. Who looked like both of you already become closer now, I said with a giggle looking at both Aisha and Hestia. Of course, she's my familia after, Hestia said puffing her chest. Ignoring Hestia, I turned to Aisha. Aisha-san, have you decided to invite your friend as another member? I asked knowing she might have some friends in Ishtar Familia. Surprisingly she shook her head. You really are trying to find trouble, aren't you? I won't ask them and lay low for now, she answered me. Haraheim-san, how about you? Are you comfortable here? I asked Haraheim that still sit on the bed. Looked like she's steaming right now with smoke coming on top of her head. You should cover up your body. She can't handle looking at man's bare body. Ufufu, except you want me to eat you, Aisha said teasing me. Then, I should maybe wear this one, I said changing to black outfit which Gilgamesh used in New York. How about this? I asked for their opinion. It's looking good on you, Aegeus-sama, Haraheim said blushing after returning to normal. That's a fast recovery, I thought while looking at her face which contained a small smile on it. Anyway, I will leave first. Have a great day everyone, I said leaving them. Ah. My part-time job. Hestia shouted behind me and grabbed her jacket before running as fast as lightning toward her job. Good morning, Mia-san. I greet Mia which cleaning the glass in her hands. Oh, Aegea boy. What brought you here? Mia asked me when I greet her while putting the glass down. I thought you asked for my help. Ryo said that to me, this morning, I said explaining my presence here. Ryo? Oh. Yeah, I need help for tonight. Can you do it? Mia asked me with a hurried tone. Yeah, sure. I will come again later then. I said, waving goodbye to her and Seer beside her with a broom in her hand. Seer, call Rio here. Mia said while Seer left with a smile on her face. Rio got inside the room with her no-expression face. Yes, Mama Mia. What can I help? Mia sighed hardly and looked at Rio. Seriously, you elf. If you want to gain his attention, don't use my name. She said, looking at Rio, but she just avoiding eye contact with a slight blush on her face. You will be working alone tonight with him later. Mia said. What about us, Naya? Chloe asked while sweeping the floor. Just do what you always do without helping her. Mia said, tired ordering all the maids. I got nothing to do now. I thought while walking out from Hostess of Fertility. Without any plan, I decided to visit Babel Tower but then stopped when I noticed Aina looking worried. What happened, Aina-san? I asked since she looked down, daydreaming hugging a quite stack of paper. Hiya. She cried in surprise. Aegeus-kun. I'm sorry about not seeing you there. Actually, I think Belle-kun is in danger. She quickly regained herself along with the words she said. Looking at her serious face, I believe her. Is he already inside the dungeon? I asked, replying to her. She sighed. I already asked for help, but yes, he is inside the dungeon. That's enough. I will go after him. I said while walking to the dungeon, abandoning my initial plan. With my speed, I should reach sooner, but where did he go? I asked myself, then decided to run as fast as I could. Ignoring a bunch of parties that going down to the dungeon. They only felt a strong wind blew right past them. Dodging all the monster, I start exploring from floor 7 which Belle usually go. I ran all around the floor with this speed until reaching floor 9. The movement from Killer Ant that I met confused me. They're ignoring me and walking toward a certain direction. I decided to follow it and arrive at the corner before the room where the stairs to the 10th floor are located. Before arriving, I could hear someone screaming. Hee hee hee. Arde, you see. We are from the same familia. If you give us everything you had, we might save you, but don't think that you can fool us like yesterday, Arde. Someone said around the corner, which made me stop moving. I peeked a little around the corner and I saw Lily giving him the key and pull her up in the air. You see, Arde. The situation looked dire, which maybe it should be you who save us, not the other way around. Ehehe. He said while throwing Lily to the middle of monster swarm and leaving her there. Thank you for supporting us to your death, supporter. Hiya ha. He said and entering one of the tunnels. Just when I'm about to step in, firebolt. I stopped while noticing from my right someone shot magic, but that's not what made me stopped. This voice is from my stupid brother. Belle quickly run and leaped toward where Lily lay and protecting her. So, I decided to leave Lily in his care while I did what I should have done a long time ago. Using the commotion with that lot of killer ants. I enter the tunnel where the adventurers went. I used my top speed to catch up to them, even passing them along the way. I stopped and turned my head toward them. They looked startled after not noticing someone watching them. Oi, scum. Kneel. I said while staring at them with one of my red eyes. Hi. All of them shrieked and about to run. I used Enkidu to strain them from moving, which forced them to kneel on the ground. Pulling out a common sword from Gate of Babylon. I started walking toward them, all three of them tremble in fear. Let's see if anyone would realize some scum died in the dungeon. I said before beheading one of them. The other two widened their eyes. They started to shout loudly, no. Please. I will give you everything. He said. I already knew what he got, and their weapon at least more decent than my common sword. One of it is a magic weapon from Lily. I took all the weapons I could and the key in the ground that dropped from his hands. You should prepare yourself before doing things like this. I said and behead all of them before leaving the place. I returned to the place where my brother and Lily reside. Belle-sama, pervert. I heard when about to enter the tunnel. Couldn't contain my laugh. I release a loud enough loud which gained their attention. Baha. I'm sorry for eavesdropping on the conversation. I said, coming out from the dark tunnel and show myself to them. Noticing my white hair and red eyes, Belle quickly shouted, Nisan. You are here too. Belle said. Without any notice, the golden gauntlet appeared in my hand and a mystic code appeared. I opened the gate of Babylon and summoned a particular magic staff aiming toward Belle and Lily. Ni-san. Belle shouted, which I ignore. May it become a world where no one can hurt others and no one can be hurt. Pain breaker. I said while the staff glowing with purple light and shot a lot of lights toward both of them. Done with curing Belle and Lily, I took the mystic code, Pain breaker, and the golden gauntlet back to Gate of Babylon. What you got agitated for to your brother? You stupid brother. I said, knocking his head. It. Why you knock my head, Ni-san? Belle said, peeking toward me. You still ask that? I glared at him, which finally he shut his mouth close. Anyway, you can continue your dungeon exploring. I had healed both your injury and Lily. I said. Both of them quickly checking around their body and the visible bruise on Lily's face already gone. While they checking around their wound, I picked up the large bag off from the ground and bring it to Lily. Before giving it back, I put the key at the front for her to notice. Lily looked at the key, looked stunned, and then glanced at me. I believe it's yours. I said, giving her the bag. I will leave you to it. You stupid brother of mine. I said before walking to the surface. Aegis-sama, thank you. Lily shouted from a distance. After helping Belle and Lily, I went to the surface and without knowing it's dark already. Without much thinking, I went to Hostess of Fertility to help. Nya. Welcome Nya, Chloe that stand outside welcome me, but I noticed her nose twitching and tilt her head looking at me. Is there something wrong with me, Chloe-san? I asked her, which looked confused. With our long time interaction, she had been less hostile around me and quite close if I had to say. She's pretty much like Anya but with more brain and more ladylike. The thing that is the same with Anya is her laziness. It made me wonder if it because of her trait as a cat demi-human. Nothing Nya. She said and running inside. Following her, I got inside and greet Mia. Yosh. Everything ready, Mia-san? I said smiling at Mia. Without any chit-chat. I went to the kitchen and for some reason May not wearing her chef clothes but using the green maid outfit. May? You're working at the dining table? I asked a quick question when she just adjusting her outfit, Nya. Oh, Aegis-kun Nya. Yes, I'm Nya, she said humming while going outside. So, I'm working alone here. I said looking around before someone startled me from behind, I'm working with you. Ryo said behind me wearing a chef outfit and long hat. Oh, it's you Ryo. Don't surprise me like that. I said flicking her forehead. Her head bounced a little while she closing her eyes from the flick. I will bring the ingredients here. You will heat up the plate to make it warm. I said to her while she nodded. I walked to the fridge room where they usually put the vegetables, meat, and other ingredients. Even though I said fridge room, it more like a storage room for ingredients. Ryo-san Nya. Come here. Chloe said, calling Ryo in a whisper. What is it, Chloe? Ryo said while lightly run toward her. Aegis-kun Nya. He got a human blood scent on him Nya. Chloe said warning Ryo. Ryo looked surprised and unconsciously looked toward Aegis. Don't tell me you suspect him. Ryo asked back after looking back at Chloe. As if Nya if it's my first time meeting him. I might be Nya but now, I don't think he did it without a reason Nya. Chloe explained. Knowing her background and her sensitive nose, Ryo knew Chloe could differentiate between monster blood and human blood. Now knowing something like that a worried feeling grew in her heart while looking at Aegis. Do you know what happened? She asked Chloe. Are you stupid Nya? Of course, I don't know Nya. Chloe said in a relaxed manner. Then, why are you telling me this? Ryo asked Chloe. I just want to tell you Nya. At least he might be able to share your burden Nya. She said seriously to Ryo, which she contemplated her words in her heart. Looking at Ryo's face, Chloe made a mischievous smile. If you do not move soon enough, I will move to take him Nya. Nya hahaha. She said and walking out from the kitchen. Ryo? Is that Chloe just now? I asked her when I came out from the fridge room. She flinched a little and looked at me. Yes, she said customer would be coming in shortly. Ryo said answering my question. Then, let's get to work. I said while waiting for the order. Ryo nodded slowly before preparing the plate that would be used and some drink that would be used. Aegis-kun. Have you been doing something dangerous lately? Ryo asked some question while cleaning the plate that had been used. Right now is in the middle of rush hour, but the job in the kitchen is not that hard. Chloe, bring this to table 6. I said, giving Chloe some dishes. Alright, yeah. She said before walking out. I also listening to Ryo's question, which then I answer her after delivering the order. Let's see. I don't think so. No. I said toward Ryo. I see. She said, continue cleaning the plates. Is there something wrong? I asked Ryo while looking at her face. She gritted her teeth for a while. Aegeus-kun. Do you mind hearing my story? She said after releasing the tension she built it up. Sure. I said nonchalantly after giving another order to Anya and May. I'm in the blacklist from the guild. I kill an entire familia on my own, the familia that kill all my familia's member. They ambushed us in the dungeon. By any means possible I attack them, night attack, ambush, poison, even trap. I'm being driven by anger, and revenge to do what I need to do. Then after all revenge had been done, I fell to the dark, lay in the middle of the street. Without anyone, I'm alone in cold below the rain. I felt that is the end for stupid people like me. But then, Seer found me, took me, and even knowing all that I had done. She said while stopping her hands. Then? What do you want me to say? I asked her, knowing her story almost felt like mine. Do everything I had to do to achieve that. Suddenly, she dropped the plate and looked at me. That's why. Please. Don't end it up like me. She said while continue washing the dishes. I smiled at her warning and looked at my own hands. That's impossible. I said with a sad smile. Noticing my expression, she gripped her chest tightly. Why? She asked while snapped her head toward me. Her expression hardly to describe. She looked sad, as if holding her tears, but at the same time angry. You might think, doing something like that is wrong and it's not justice, but for me, even though I sometimes regretted it, I would do it all over again. You and we share a similar past. I can't tell you right now, but for me, you did the right thing. I said while putting my hand on her cheek and wiped the tears that come out from her eyes. It's okay to cry. You have lost so much to get here. I would also do the same if people try to hurt my family, even you. I said, coming closer to her then hugging her. She eventually gave in and cried in my hug while also hugging me. Why? Why they had to die? It should be me. She cried while her voice being overshadowed by the cheer in the dining room. It feels like 2 worlds apart. There's no need to regret anything in the past. The best thing you can do for them is to walk forward. Live for them, do what you want. Be happy. I said while rubbing her hair. She eventually broke the hug and looked at me in the eyes. She grabbed one of my hands with both her hands. For the first time, I could see her smile after she wiped her tears with her clothes. My captain used to say, if someone grabbed your hands, don't ever let go of his hand. Aegeus-kun, will you be the one to grab my hand? She asked with her rare smile. Now, not to make it awkward, but now I felt bad not telling her the first time. So, I scratched my head thinking of how to explain it to her. Ryo-san. Ryo is fine. She quickly added. *Ryo. Actually, I forgot to tell you. The thing is, I stopped my words and tried to think of a different approach. It's okay, if you had someone in mind. She said with a genuine smile on her face. Her face mesmerized me for a second there. No. Don't take me wrong. I did have someone in mind, but do you mind if you're not the only one? I know that I'm hypocrite or something, but... Before I finished my words, I could feel a soft feeling on my lips. Ryo kissed me to stop me from finishing my words. I'm okay with it. As long as there's a place for me in your heart. She said. The atmosphere became romantic for a second between us. I couldn't help about to hug her right there if not for sudden yell behind me. Congratulations. Ryo-san. Aegeus-kun too. Congratulations, yeah. All the maids and Mia, also some of the customers could peek from the open door. Bahahaha. Nice job, white-haired boy. Congratulations. Ha 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 ha. Everyone yelled and shouting, even though some already drunk from the drink they had. I sighed at all of them and smiled toward Ryo. Let me handle this first. I said, and walking to the dining room. Now. All you people. Today's meals and drinks are all on me. I shouted loud enough to the whole room. Aae. Bring more drink. Someone said to lighten the mood more. Soon the room became a party with people drinking and eating. Want it or not, some people already dragging me to drink with them. Ryo-san, congratulations. Seer walked to the kitchen and start yelling. Surrounded by all the maids, Ryo for the first time smiled at them. Thank you, I will also rooting for you and his brother, Seer-san, she said to her. Nya. I think that I heard him saying he would add another girl. Nya, do you mind sharing it with me? Nya, Chloe quickly added with a glimmering star in her eyes. I don't know. You should ask him yourself, Chloe-san. Ryo said while not removing her smile a little bit. That's cheating, Chloe. I also want to. Lunwar said, pouting behind her. Yes, Nya, if we can be with him. We can eat all the delicious dishes he had. Nya, Anya quickly added, but everyone quickly felt the awkwardness in the air. PPFFTT hahaha. Anya will always be Anya. Seer said, couldn't contain her laugh. What? Nya? It's true, Nanonya. Anya quickly rebuked her. What are you girls doing there? Bring out another barrel. Mia quickly shouted, disperse the girls that quickly run to get another barrel. Leaving only Ryo there. Mia walked closer to Ryo. You still had your debt with me. I don't care if your boyfriend worked here or saying anything. Be sure to work paying your debt first. She said to Ryo, which saying that she can stay as much as she wanted to. Yes, Mama Mia. Ryo said with a smile. Mia let out a chuckle. Congrats. I hope you're happy. She said before leaving her there. Without realizing what would happen. That night, a legend was born. The unbeatable champion had been born in Hostess of Fertility. The night became long where people around the Hostess of Fertility still drinking. Nearing the end of night time, only tired maids and Mia that happily counting money could be seen around the counter. While in the middle of the dining table only one man stood alone while the rest fell asleep on the ground. Aegeus stood alone after defeating all the people in the drinking contest. Ah. When I want to see his drunk expression. Nya. Chloe undeniably voiced out her reason for waiting there. For some unknown reason, everyone also thought the same, even including Ryo. I lost 3 million valis in one day just to pay for these people. I said while looking around. After carefully watching my step to not kick them in the face. I succeed in walking toward Mia and the other maids. You really open your best liquid, aren't you, Mia-san? I said, deducting from the price I pay. You know me well, boy. If only I'm as old as you, I might marry you for real. Ha ha ha. Mia laughed after counting the money. No, thanks. I'm good. I said, rejecting her straightforwardly. Now that it's done. Sun would come up at any moment. All of you should get to sleep. I said towards the maid. That's it. Since you pay that much. We got a day off tomorrow after all. Lunwar said in surprise. What do you expect me to do? I said to all the girls. Since you knew Ryo's story. Nya. How about you hear all of our stories. Nya? Chloe said, suggesting an idea. At this time maybe the alcohol got a little on me, which made me told them something I shouldn't. So, what did the Black Cat and Black Fist want to ask from me? I said, which froze the whole maids and Mia. Everyone quickly looked around the room and heaved in relief. Aegeus-kun. This way. Lunwar said and dragged me, followed by other maids to the second floor where they live. Tell me, Aegeus-kun. How do you know about us? Lunwar quickly asked. Yes, Nya. No one knew about us except for a few people in the city. Nya. Chloe said with a serious face. Well, how should I explain this? I asked myself. All of them looked at me, that making a troubled face, and sighed heavily. Then, Aegeus. Do you know my nickname? Ryo asked with concern, looked on her face. Ugh. You make me can't lie with that face. Relax, Ryo. I knew, but that didn't change anything. You can relax, Ryo Lion the Elven Gale. I said, which greeted me by her smile. That's enough for not lying to me. She said sweetly, but not with the other girls. Then, Aegeus-kun. Now that you knew about us. What do you want to do? Lunwar asked. What I want to do? Nothing. Wait. Actually, I had some plan about Ryo since we would be going out together. I said after thinking for a while. Every girl put their attention on me. I will talk to the guild to remove the blacklist from them. I said, putting my idea up front. The girls looked confused for a second. Mind telling us how, nya? Chloe said, asking the question. Why do you have to know? Of course, I got my own way. I said, shrugging the question off from them. Nya. Why don't you help us too, nya? I can consider going out with you too, nya. Chloe said, tempting me while coming closer to me. Why should I? I give her a quick answer. I just about to ask the same thing as Chloe-san though. Lunwar said with a sad expression. Can you also help them? But if it put you at risk, you can also forget about removing it. I already live happy right now. Ryu said with worried face. Well. Maybe I can negotiate with Ouranos-sama. How my trump card? I said, answering to their questions. You about to negotiate with Ouranos-sama? From the guild? Lunwar said, shocked after hearing the name. Of course, who else have the power over the guild? While I could help all of you, I got one condition for Chloe. I said while making a serious expression that put pressure on her. Why only her? Ryu asked in confusion. Just for this time, I ignored Ryu and looked at Chloe, which gulped down, feeling somewhat scared. Tell me, who ordered you to kill Shakti years ago? I asked while releasing killing intent. Aegeus-kun. Nya. You scared me. Chloe said, trembled in fear. Ryu quickly pulled my sleeves, which woke me up. I sighed as hard as I could. Right, I won't do anything to you. I said slowly and calmly this time. Huff, you scared me there, nya. Actually, I don't know who is it, but if I had to guess, nya. It should be noble in the business part of the city, nya. Chloe said, explaining the detail that she knew. Ufufu. Cat would never bother with difficult stuff like that. They can't after all. Lunwar chuckled while sneering at Chloe. What do you say? Said someone that does everything with her fist. Chloe answered back to Lunwar, which resulting in both of them glaring at each other. Anyway, thanks for the information. I will leave all of you to rest now. As for your status as a blacklist, let me deal with it. I said, leaving a quick kiss on Ryu's forehead, which made her blush hardly. Be careful. Ryu said, leaving only short messages while hiding behind Seer. Without turning back home for a while, I directly went to the guild. Aina noticed my expression, which made her stop greeting me. Aina, show me the way to Ouranos-sama. I said directly toward Aina without many jokes in my tone. You always finding trouble, aren't you? Just know that you owe me one in this. Aina quickly gave up knowing me. She whispered slowly to show me the direction. Take left from here and then the first hallway on the right. That's the place where we never allowed to go, but guild staff and employee would probably stop you. She said slowly. Thank you, Aina. I said, nodding at her words, and start walking toward the staff area. Sir, you can't enter here. Someone already whining about me trespassing. I just quickly avoid him and keep walking, entering the hallway followed by guild staff that tried to hold me. Royman Mardil, the old elf, also tried to stop me with his bulging stomach. Fells, I could feel your presence. I said randomly, which luckily he showed himself covered in a black robe. Let him in. He said, and all the guild members started to back off. I started to walk again, this time accompanied by Fells. How do you know me? He asked while we walked side by side. I can't tell you. I just give him short answer. Eventually, we arrive at a dark room full with standing torches and throne in the middle. High above it sit a god wearing his robe, Ouranos. Thank you for this opportunity, Ouranos-sama. I said with a slight bow, showing my respect. Speak, what do you want for coming here? He said while maintaining his dignity. I want you to remove the blacklist on Black Cat, Black Fist, and Gale, I said with eye-to-eye contact with him. I can't. They have disturbed the peace in Orio. Letting them stay already kind enough. Ouranos said. Then, what if I promise you? I will kill the Black Dragon if it came to Orio to prevent the destruction of the city and also completing the 3 great quest. I said, smiling at him. What qualify you to say those big words? He asked me, still with a straight expression. Because I'm related to Zeus. Me and my brother are. I said, which made his face tensed a little. How could you prove it? Ouranos asked after thinking for a second. You don't, you just have to believe. I said while pulling out the golden key from the gate of Babylon. I turned the handle making a clicking noise and EA started to awaken. You better answer fast, before people started to investigate. I said that sounds like a threatening message but soon a light tremble occurred. The whole Aurario affected to it. Ouranos finally gave in and sighed hardly, your request will be granted. I hope for your successful journey, Aegeus Cranel. He said while hearing it, I turned EA back into key. Thank you for your grace. Ouranos-sama. I said leaving him there with Fells beside him. Luckily a little promise could buy it off. I thought after walking out from the guild while breathing heavily and a little sweat on my back. After talking to God Ouranos, it felt like a heavy weight had been lifted off my shoulder. I walked straight home thinking that Ryu and the other would probably sleep after the event last night. I also need my sleep. How can I push my body too hard when outside the dungeon? Unforgivable. I thought while walking home. Arriving home, I looked at the abandoned church as if the real paradise that waiting with my soft bed. Opening the door to my paradise, my smile froze after looking at Belle that walking with Lily toward Hestia at the front. So, this is the supporter that been talked about recently. Hestia said holding the high ground. All of them stopped when I opened the door. Ah, Nisan. Aegeus-kun. Aegeus-sama. All three of them greeting me. Stop. Before one of you talk further. I said while walking close and went to the door to our small room. Keep it quiet, because I want to sleep. I said before running down leaving all of them there looking at me with sweat on them. Arriving at my bed. Haruheim still sleeping with Aisha. My bed being left open without anyone and still neat. I quickly jumped on it and sleep through the day. At least until I felt that I couldn't move. I sacrificed my dream to open my eyes slowly which made me felt that it is worth it. A blonde elf sleeping in front of me with a peaceful face but already back to her straight face. Then I realize a yellow fluffy tail also got around my waist. Haruheim already slept on my bed. Noticing movement, Ryu opened her eyes and looked up to my face, good morning. I said wondering what time is it. She eventually smiled and quickly removed herself from me and get down from the bed. I remove Haruheim's tail and also get down from the bed. I had a day off, so I come here. She said while still wearing the maid outfit. Apparently, the day off only until night time where they would open again but closed earlier which explained Ryu wearing her maid outfit. It noon outside and start getting dark, before Ryu left. I told her about Shakti which she surprised for a second which I knew from her eyes. I wake Haruheim to eat with Ryu and that's when I realized that Aisha is missing. Where's Aisha-san? I asked Haruheim which them she answered, she went to the guild to report the change in Familia. The longer the time took, the Familia will get a penalty later if being found out. Haruheim said relaying the messages to me. Then, will you report there also? I asked her. She shook her head, I already gave my status paper to her. She said while taking a bite to the food where she smiled unconsciously with her tail wagging. Aegeus, mind telling me what is your relationship with her? Ryu asked already turned back to her usual expression. Looked like she still hid her expression from strangers. I'm his property. Haruheim said which made me drop my food but thankfully saved by Gate of Babylon. I pinched my nose's bridge while thinking for a while, stop it, Haruheim-san. Can you not say something like that? I said avoid looking at Ryu. I'm sorry. Haruheim said giving a quick bow. Let me explain. I saved her while she worked as a slave at a brothel. Now, she's a member from Hestia Familia. I said to explain the situation. Seriously, this situation made me awkward. Two people with almost no expression and heavy topic to talk to. I thought looking at the situation which made me smile wryly but cover it up with my hand. Surprisingly, Ryu started to smile, then, you are safe here. I'm sure, Aegeus will take care of you. Ryu said with a warming smile. Thank God, one of them showing expression. I thought while crying when no one is looking. Nisan. I'm home. Belle came running into the room. What made you so happy? I asked him which his smile looked like a boy getting his first present on Christmas. For some reason, I want to smack him out of the room but now I need him to remove this awkward moment in the room. Let me guess. You got to talk with the girl you like. Looking at your face meaning my guess is correct. So you get to talk with Ace Wallenstein. I gave him a total guess by looking at his face. Bell quickly lowered his head and read, "Am I that easy to read?" he said, feeling sad. "By the way, it's rare to see Ryo-san visiting here," he said, but quickly shut his mouth, remembering just yesterday he felt a deadly glare from her. "Ooh yeah, I'm going out with her," I said casually. "Oh. Congrats, Ryo-san, and also Ni-san," Bell quickly said while daydreaming on himself and giving a shy laugh. 100,000 Valis. He's dreaming about walking with Ace while holding her hand, I said to lighten the mood. Ryo and Haruheim chuckled lightly at my guess. "Anyway, Ni-san, I'm going to sleep," Bell said, and sleep earlier than before, which made me suspicious, but I have no time to think about it. "It's time. Let me escort you out, Ryo," I said while both of us walked outside with confused Haruheim about what she wanted to do, but quickly decided to follow me from behind. After saying goodbye to Ryo, I turned to Haruheim behind me. "Haruheim-san, take Bell's dagger. From today, I will train you until I went to the dungeon for the expedition," I said after thinking I might ignore her too much. For the next few days were hell for Aisha and Haruheim. At first, I asked Bell to train also, but he said he will be training with Ace, so I let him be. I tried to deal as little damage as I could with both Haruheim and Aisha, but still, they ended up with scratch and bruised. Luckily, I had Pain Breaker to heal them, even though I couldn't heal their stamina back. Their status also increased significantly. Aisha could reach LV4, but I let Hestia hold it first, and Haruheim's status climbing step by step, reaching G in strength and endurance, F in dexterity and agility, then B in magic, where I ask her to cast on Aisha when it's her turn to get beaten up. Aisha already got her fighting style, which I can't change anymore, while my reason for Haruheim to train in agility and dexterity is for her to avoid most incoming attacks at her. Other than Ryo's frequent visit and Tiona coming to deliver news about the date of the expedition, not much happening since I decided to train both Aisha and Haruheim. After more than a week passed, I asked Hestia to update my status, which I'm not surprised by the level up I got from it. Level 3, 4. Strength, EX 2900 I0. Endurance, EX 2900 I0. Dexterity, EX 2900 I0. Agility, EX 2900 I0. Magic, EX 2900 I0. Skill. Iou, King of Heroes. Nothing restricted my path. Dromius Comets, Comet Form. No one is faster than me. Luck, S. Abnormal Resistance, S. Magic Resistance, EX. Magic. Gate of Babylon. No surprise looking at it, but instead kinda disappointing that there's only magic resistance as my new skill. Without bothering that much with the paper and loudly shouting Hestia in the background, I went back to sleep. Ni-san. Before you sleep. No. Bell quickly said before I got to close my eyes. Do you need something, Bell? I asked him while lifting my head and looked at him. Can you come tomorrow to my training? He said with a scared expression, which made me look at him more carefully. Are you scared to ask your own brother? I asked him with a smile, hinting my answer. He quickly smiled but still asked for forgiveness to me, since I got fed up with him saying I'm sorry. I quickly close my eyes and sleep. Ni-san, wake up. Bell shaking my whole body to wake me up. It made me remember why I always refuse his request. Dang it, Bell. You train at this time of the day? I said while removing Haruheim's tail, which I unconsciously used for a bolster. Eventually, I wake up with my eyes half shut and walked with Bell toward the outer part of the town, where he trained. Ace-san. I brought my brother over, Bell said, waving his hand in the distance. So, you asked me to get here for a talk? I asked Bell, which he nodded. Alright, wake me up after you are done with your training, I said while taking my second bed out and sleep there. With this, I won't lose much of my sleeping schedule. After a while, no one waking me up and I got a slight headache from sleeping too much. I wake up on my own and the scene I saw is Ace giving him a lap pillow. Putting my bed back, I walked toward them. So, what do you to talk about? I said while at the same time Bell also woke up from his coma. Oh, you awake already, Bell? I said, greeting him. He quickly took some distance from Ace with a surprised face. Stop it, I said to Bell, and he quickly sat quietly. Now, what is it? The thing both of you want to talk or ask me? I asked again. Ni-san. Yesterday, A-san asked me what make me become strong so fast, but if talking about fast progress, I can't mention anyone faster than you. Even people in the guild sometimes mixed up between you and me. People call you, record holder. The fastest there is. So, when A-san asking me about this, I never know your reason for becoming stronger. Bell said while closing his eyes, scared that I would yell at him. Ha ha ha. I couldn't help but laugh. Asking me to come this far just to ask a question like this. If it's not because of my good mood today, I might already kick him off the town wall right now. What is yours? I asked back toward Bell and Ace. I want to reach someone. Bell said with a red face. Me too. Ace said with a dull face. Then, what is your motivation after you reach that someone? I continue asking, but they stopped their word. Hearing your question, as I thought. You're growing. I said, looking at my little brother, which so innocent just a month ago. Well, you, Ace. Your resolve weakened. I said, knowing her progress lessened. My answer is simple. To protect my family. Including you. I said while pointing toward Bell, which made him startled. Me? Bell said, pointing at himself. Because of my reason, I had to become stronger, even defeating the strongest in this world, so I could rest in peace. My aim is not in Orario, but instead the world. I said, giving them my answer. Ace, you lost your parents, but you got your new parents. It's in your familia which filled the void in your heart. Your aim reaching the person you said became lessened every single year by the time went on. I believe your resolve now is weaker than the first time you reached level 2 in a short amount of time. Also, my little brother. If your resolve is only as low as that, you will also stop growing in the upcoming year. When you reach that person, you will lose your motivation. I said, lecturing both of them about my view on this problem. Even though I don't know what drove my fast growth, I tried my best to give the best answer for both of them. Luckily for Ace being herself, nothing questioned me from knowing her lost about her parents. Think about it for a second. After finding your new resolve, talk to me again. I said, leaving both of them on the wall while I jumped down the wall, landing at the street below. Kya! Someone shouted loudly. I looked at the one that fell on the ground after being surprised by someone jumping off the wall in front of her. A golden hair elf with dark blue eyes looked scared and dropped her staff on the ground while trembling after looking at me. Lefiya-san? I asked if I got the right name, which she nodded. Aegius-sama. You scared me. She said with a heavy sigh and started to get up from the floor. Now that I think about it, I never got to talk with her.What's with the Sama? I asked while walking closer to her. Ehe. Everyone respected by your sparring started to call you like that, also since you're close to Tiona-san. She started to brag about your story. Lefiya said with a little laugh. I pat her head, just Aegius will do. You can add San or Kun if you're uncomfortable. I said, walking past her. Oh no. She said, stopping me from walking home. Is there anything else you need from me? I asked after stopping. Ca. Can you train me? I don't want to lose to your brother. She quickly said everything in her mind. She reminded me of my brother though. You asked me to train you, so you can defeat my brother? I asked while her question gained my interest. I'm sorry. She said in nervous. Sure, I will help you train. I said, giving her hope. She looked at me with a smile and gave another bow, thank you. Eventually, both of us went to the dungeon where she said she can train with ease without anyone looking. Listen well, I will train you for today. Only for today. I said, giving her the time I had. She nodded seriously and looked at me, gripping her staff tightly. Keep dodging while maintaining your chance. I said while opening Gate of Babylon. She looked at it with nervous but started chanting. I keep the speed of the trajectory in her capabilities while secretly increasing it over time. Don't stop your chanting. I shouted when she stopped after getting a few slashed in. Sadly, she failed the magic. Rest for now, I said while performing Pain Breaker to her. Looking at her wound that quickly closed up. She looked at me with an amazing look. Aegius-san. Are you a fighter or a mage? She asked slowly, since not everyone wanted to answer that question while in different familia. Me? I'm a mage, I guess. I answered her while I'm not sure of myself. even though you can sparring with captain like that? Lefiya asked. I don't have the answer, just shrugged my shoulder. Lefiya eventually could cast her magic even after receiving damage after the end of the day. I did it. I did it. Lefiya kept on screaming and jump around. Alright, let's go back. I need to pick up my brother. I said while gaining her attention, I'm also coming. She said. Are you sure? You see something you didn't want to see. I said, knowing her being Ace's big fans. Ugh. You're right. I will head home. She said in a depressed tone and walking slowly to the surface with me. We parted ways after arriving at the surface. I arrived pretty fast even though night already came. Approaching closer to the destination, I noticed certain someone, peeking from behind the wall. As soon as Belle sent flying by Ace. She quickly ran toward him. Aya. Belle-kun. Looked at you. I guess Ace Wallenwater-san beat you up without any feeling. Don't worry, Belle-kun. You're safe now. Hestia said after hugging Belle in her embrace. Ace looked at Belle and Hestia but soon noticed a presence behind them. Aegis-san. She called slowly. Belle quickly followed her sight direction while Hestia jolted out in surprise. Ni-san. You're here. Belle said. I waved my hand without greeting all of them. Let's go home. All four of us walked in a dark alley where the lamp had been broken since the place was the outer part of the town where not many people care about it. The place was silent where stars could be seen when you looked up. Only Ace and me quickly tensed out by the feeling of something. I heard the sound of footsteps coming quickly. Green lightning appeared in my hand while a person already attacked toward Ace, about to slashing her from below. Ace already pulled out her weapon to defend, but with my speed, I got there first and pushed the spear that the enemy used to the floor. Surprised that his strike got blocked made his movement stopped for a second, which is enough for me to kick his face that covered with armor that blocked his face. His armor got destroyed as a result. Then Ace mumbled her words, Vanna Freya, she said, which made Hestia and Belle startled. Before I could talk, another four jumped down from the ceiling. Aegis Cranel. We're not here for you. One of them said. My bad, but attack one of the people behind me would be considered attacking me. I said with a grin on my face. They decided to back off and jumped back to the roof on the nearby building, but not with the one that lost his spear. He dashed about to kick me when I got distracted to took back his spear. I won't let a good spear leave this place. I said while dodging his kick and elbow strike right on his knee. Retreat. One of the people said and decided to get down again to bring Alan, who I strike back, leaving his spear. You attacked once, I took your spear. Twice, I took your leg. I said while waving meteor spear around, making green slash that traveled at high speed toward his broken leg, but one of the people in black blocked it with his shield, causing it to break. You got yourself the spear and my shield. Can we call it even? He asked while everyone already got on the roof. Sure, next time. I will take your life and served it to your goddess. Touch a single hair of my family, I will drag all of you down to your grave. I said while all of them run away. Ace Wallenwater-san. Are you sure that's Vanna Freya? From Freya Familia. Hestia said, asking for confirmation from Ace. She shook her head since this is a rivalry between Loki Familia and Freya Familia. I don't know. Ace said, which made Hestia wonder why they attacked Loki Familia. Ni-san, are you okay? Belle ran to me while I'm inspecting the spear. The spear got covered with silver and also shine as if a new weapon. I'm fine, Belle. But the wheel had started moving. I said and put the spear inside Gate of Babylon. Waking up in the morning with a yellow tail on my face that had a white tip. How could someone had this fluffy tail? I thought while stroking it slowly. MMNN. Haraheim groaned behind me, which made me quickly stop. Now that I thought about it. The expedition is in 2 days. Should I bring Aisha and Haraheim? I said while thinking but quickly diminishing my thought. I quickly looked at Hestia that already woke up and brushed her teeth. Oi, Hestia-sama. The Donatus should be held when I'm inside the dungeon, right? I asked Hestia. She turned to me and nodded her head. Use this name for me. I said while throwing a piece of paper toward her. Ugh. Are you sure about using this name? I mean. Ayuo. It sounded like you declare war with Freya Familia. Hestia said with an ugly face. Just use it. Then add another message to the gods and goddesses. We will accept war games if they didn't like it. I said. Asterisk a huck asterisk a huck. What did you said? Hestia said, choked on water. We can get something out of it, right? You knew we need home to live. I said, explaining my suggestion. But still, I'm worried, you know. Hestia said, pouting her cheek. Relax, it's just a precaution. Tell me if Loki-sama decided to go against it. I said, calming her down. TCH. It's better if she didn't support me. Hestia said with annoyed face. Oh. Please, Hestia-sama. I will give you offering. I said while taking out food from Gate of Babylon. Gaha. Fine. Hestia said, stomping her way out to her part-time job while taking the food with her. She really an interesting goddess. Aisha said behind me. Another thing, Aisha. Ishtar won't make a move on the surface. Before both of you get inside the dungeon. You had to wait for me. I said to her. She nodded with a smile but then blew to my ears, but, you see. Aegeus-kun. I also had another need to be satisfied, you know. Moo. Aisha-san. You can't tease Aegeus-sama like that. Haruheim quickly grabbed me and pulled me away from Aisha while pouting. It already happened for a few days after Ryu's frequent visits. Both Ryu and Haruheim apparently like to talk with each other. Ufufu. Well, it is fine. Everyone wanted to have a leisure life. At least, I don't have to sell my body to get food. Aisha said after done with her teasing. Right, I will leave you girls doing your thing and don't forget to train while I had to sleep at Twilight Manor because I won't be able to wake up otherwise. I said before I leave. Of course, I just said that now because to prevent Hestia from exploding. Before my visit to Twilight Manor, I went to Hostess of Fertility which closer and said goodbye to Ryo. She looked worried but quickly erased it with her smile. Continuing my visit, I went to Ganesha Familia. The guard for some reason remembered me and let me in just like that, of course not too far. I am Ganesha, someone already shouting at the door. Ganesha-sama. Is Shakti home? I asked him. Ha ha ha. Aegeus-san. Come in. He said while inviting me in. Well, I'm sorry to say that Shakti isn't around. She quickly dragged the member which going to be the captain off to somewhere this morning. Ganesha said while walking in front of me. It's fine. Please relay my messages to her. I will be going in Loki Familia's expedition. I said while we walked toward his room. I will tell her, but why are you telling her now? He asked. I try not to make her worry much. Either way, she would understand. I said, answering his question. Here, come. I got something to show you. Ganesha said with an exciting tone. He brought me to the backyard of his personal space, which too many monsters running around in a docile manner. While I'm looking around by the amazing place where trees and bush lush together with the monster. Ganesha already opened another gate. Come here. Aegeus-san. He said while inviting me in. Noticing the change in my surroundings, when the gate is opened, all the monsters quickly ran avoiding that place. Inside the gate when I entered was even bigger space from the previous one, but only 2 creatures there while also being caged like a zoo. The first one looked like an eastern dragon but no arm or leg, instead their fins around them. The scale color is a deep blue ocean while the fins contrast with red color from the tip. It also had a top fin which helped with direction when swimming. The other creature had all black scales with 2 horns shaped like a bull but 4 eyes glowing purple and running rampage around the place. Oi oi. Ganesha-sama. Are they? I asked Ganesha with an unsure tone. He smiled at me while saying, yes, they're the Leviathan and Behemoth child. He said, noticing their size which only reached a meter long. How did you get them? I asked Ganesha if he's hiding something. It's from Zeus and Hera Familia. After defeating them in a deadly battle, each of them left an egg that Ouranos asked me to take care of for the time being. Ganesha said. Are you serious right now? I said while looking at a magnificent beast but also cute since they're small. Could you tame them? He asked me with a serious face. You never tried? I asked him in confusion. Ha ha ha. I've tried. He said while showing part of his body which got a scar on it. While using this mortal body, I almost died. Ha ha ha. He laughed happily. Let's see their reaction first. I said while walking around the back of the cage where I had to go in from. The Leviathan came first but rapidly dashed in a straight line toward me, which I dodged in panic. Q. Q. It growled before did another dashed. Noticing it didn't open its mouth, I let him came closer and it quickly coiled on my arm. Ho ho. I knew it. I am Ganesha. Ganesha said in excitement. I scrubbed the part under its jaw and it made a purring noise before it looked like resting. Noticing, I can't let it get down from me, I brought it out from the cage and walked toward Ganesha. Looked like I could did it, I said to Ganesha, which made him happy. Quick. Quick. The behemoth, he said, but for some reason, my gut's telling me not right now. I think another time, Ganesha-sama. I got a feeling it might not work right now, I said to Ganesha. Ha ha ha. It's okay. I'm happy right now. Please don't tell Shakti, I brought you here. Ah ha 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 ha. Ganesha laughed loudly. Why don't you named it? Ganesha said. Naming this one. Let's see. How about Leadery? I said while the Leviathan started to shine. This time, I'm not blacking out, which let me see the process. The bright light quickly grew larger and larger, which luckily it's high noon. The light got bigger while the size increasing. Soon, the light disperses and the Leviathan became so big, or I would say long, maybe reaching 50 m, but coiled around her magic stone. Before people realized, I opened Gate of Babylon, which let her get inside the golden ripple. That is amazing. I shouted loudly with my blood boiling. Right. I thought so. Ganesha said. Anyway, thank you for another opportunity, Ganesha-sama, I said, bowing to him. Ha ha ha. No problem, he said while escorting me out. One more thing, Aegeus. I don't know if I had told you this, but Shakti had lost her sister years ago, which made her only focusing on her job. The first time she talked about you, days ago, truly shocked me but made me happy at the same time. I could see her smile again, so please make her happy. Once again, thank you, Ganesha said to me before I walked out from Ganesha Familia's base and waving goodbye to him. The more thought I put into it, the more I think this place is like a zoo. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.